Alright, so I'm jumping around a little bit here. So after working on the rear end stuff for a while, let me flip it. I've moved on to doing some other stuff. This torque box had a big crease down it. Of course, you guys probably saw it on the earlier video. But I took it off, knocked the dent out of it, got it welded back into place. And then there was two holes right here that I had forgot about. Shot the primer on, and then I could see them real well. Same way with that dent, you could see the crease in it after I got the primer on it. But anyway, so I'm just straightening up a few things here. I don't know what these holes were drilled back here for. I know that one's for the fuel. Thinking that it was probably, you would think first that it was to get to the shock bolts, but the shock bolts are way up there, so it couldn't have been that. And then I thought, well, maybe it was for airline or something, for air shocks. I don't know. But the holes were oval shaped. See, they had this like oval plug in it. It was kind of weird. So I used my step bit and kind of rounded them out. And then I got me a couple washers here that I'm going to tack in here. And once I get them tacked in and level, then I'll go ahead and plug the center holes out, kind of grind them down, make them look right. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, I got those plugged up. And that's that. I think that's it down here. I'm gonna like double, triple, quadruple check and make sure before I go and shoot any more primer on the bottom of this damn thing, that there's nothing else that's gonna pop out at me at the last minute. Alright, night night. Alright, back in the garage for a little bit today. And do some work on that. Probably spread a little Bondo on the seams up here, and I don't know, maybe find some more stuff to do to it. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, so after doing a little research, I think this carrier here is, what did he say, 67 and earlier. Can't tell. But anyways, 67 and earlier, I believe he said. These holes are smaller because of these bolts here, which are 5/8 bolts. Yep, 5/8 bolts. But the shank on them is smaller than the 68 and up. And these are 9/16 bolts, but that shank right there is bigger, so it won't go down in there. So I guess the fix for that is to drill these holes out to 3/8 is what I came up with. So I'm getting ready to do that, because today's bolts here were not reproduced, and I guess you can't get them unless you're getting them out of another old case. So That's where I'm at with it. I'll get back with you. And I bought some Loctite, so once I go back on with them, I'll be able to Loctite them in place. Alright. Alright. So this is where I'm at. Went ahead and did the body work on the seams here where the two pieces meet together. Both sides, kind of straighten them up where you can't hardly tell that that I put a floor pan in the thing. Went ahead and drilled my holes here, 1 3/4 for the plugs that go in. Same thing on this pan, 1 3/4, same thing there. I still have to drill this one, but I didn't have a hole saw to do that one. 1 1/2. That's where that little drain plug goes. So I got it laying here somewhere, but anyways, still have to drill that hole out. But then took this off, rebuilt it, well, hammered the dents and stuff out of it and re-welded it back on. And you see it's a lot nicer than it was. That thing was standing out like a sore thumb. And then we had this area here that had the 2 holes in it here. Welded those shut like in the previous video. Welded them shut, and then I did a little bit of body work on it just to make it look right. Shot primer back on it. Oh yeah, I had forgot to put this back on for the seat belt bolt capture, so I got that all welded back on. So anyways, I need to do the body work, some hammering on this trunk floor pan. Still haven't been able to get my son to come down and help me, or anybody else for that fact. I don't know, maybe I'll hire someone walking down the street or something to come and help me. But anyways, that's about all I'm lacking, is to hammer the dents out of that trunk floor over there. And then I'm going to flip the car back over where I can get in the engine bay area, so I can do a little bit of touch-up work with some Bondo in here in a couple places. Not very many, just kind of like right there, right there, and then there's a couple more. But anyways, do a little bit of Bondo work in there, and then once I get the little bit of Bondo work done in there, I'm going to do slick sand, the polyester primer in the engine bay, and then fine tune everything so that the engine bay is like super nice when it comes time to pop the hood. Everything will look perfect in there. Alright, that's where I'm at. It's like 80 degrees in here, so I'm gonna call it and go in the house. Night night. Alright, and just like that, we knocked a ton of big dents out of the trunk pan there. My son never would come down and help me, so I recruited my 10-year-old grandson. Oh, did I say 10?
Yes.
Your sister's 10. You're 8 years old. Yeah. So I recruited this 8-year-old out here to come and hold the dolly on the trunk side while I was hammering over here. And he got pretty good at it, where he could actually hear the different tones in the metal. And he even explained to me why we was doing it. Why were we doing that?
Because if you don't hold the dolly on it, the dents will just go back into the back. If you hold the dolly in it, it will just go in the middle.
Pretty smart, yeah. You got it right. Alright. We're out of here. So we got all the dents knocked out of the trunk area. So got her flipped back up here. Got the trunk area looking good. Took me and my little 8-year-old grandson to get out here and hammer and dolly, and took a few of those little pipes to do the bead areas, get them straightened out. Yeah, it was quite a mess, but anyways, we got it taken care of. I got her flipped back up so I can get in here to the engine area and do a little bit of Bondo work in here, which ain't too much. It's gonna be quick and easy. And then scuff it all up and shoot some quicksand, body man in a can, polyester primer, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna spray a little bit of that in here, but I also want to work on the cow area and get all that coated on the inside of that at the same time. So I'll probably work on that first, get all that coated inside of there and cleaned up, and then I'll work on all the engine bay area. Little Bondo work like right here, a little bit right in here. Look, another smiley face. Huh. But anyways, yeah. Other than that, do some sanding and prepping and throw the old polyester on there and do some more sanding, and then get it all sealed in. The engine bay, the bottom of the car, all sealed in. That way, once it's all sealed in, I'll be able to go ahead and shoot some color on them areas. Alright, once the color's on them areas, then I'll throw the fenders on, lower this thing back down, and then start doing a little bit of body work, stripping the doors, the fenders, the roof. Take the trunk lid out here and get it repaired and stripped. Alright, I'm out.